So, as I explained you guys in part one, related to what are the basic configuration required in ADP server for your AEM. So, first thing, I was explaining about that all the configuration file. What is the importance? So, I explained you that attribute filters. So, these are that attribute IDs of users which you want to go into that in your AEM. So this is very important. You need to configure it. And other file is attribute resolver. So these are the resolvers. So you can configure all those attributes which need to be kind of configured uh, from your LDAP server to the IDP server, so it's and understand which attributes you need to decode or kind of post in your AEM. So these are the mail, and these are the postcode UIDs I have already configured. And more one thing, I have provided one reference of my LDAP. So you need to configure your my LDAP like that. This is your resolver data connector, and provide your ID my LDAP. These are the by default things I just copied and paste. And you need to provide that the same principal credential which you have giving at the installation of OpenDS. And this is my base DN and this is my principal. So like that, if you see, this is my base DN. So if you will go into that manage, so you understand this thing. So these are that DC example and DC com. This is my base DN, and this is your principal. Like that, you need to configure is as a directory manager, CN directory manager. And then again your credentials will come out. And again your uh, that handler. So handler, there is one major thing in that handler. So you need to provide this one login handler in this file, which is very important. So this is your by default configuration, username, password. And here is your JAS configurations, because we have given it. And one more important thing, you give that 3 slash. If you will give the 2 slash, then it will not it will then you will face some issue. So please provide that 3 hash, like that. The same thing you need to provide. This 3 hash is very important. And your authentication method, we have a password protect transport. And other part is that which is important in this thing. This is a, where is that configuration, I will tell you. Okay, that is not present in this. And I am just navigating to my login config. So this is my login config file, which is already present in the same folder. So you will just provide the same pattern, like Siblet user pass config. And your LDAP server is running on that port number 389. That's why we have given 389, and this running on my local host. And same thing, base DN, and bind with a directory name and a component name and your credentials. So we are don't need to require that TSSL or TLS, because my LDAP is not running on a very secure socket. And these are the user fields and user filter, which is very important, because we are tracking through the UID, as well as you configured as email of the users. And again, handler done, this done, internal, it's not. In logging configuration, you just provide your level of that out debug. Yeah, I have provided the debug level. So it will travels all the logs, was how the steps are going in your logs. And relying part login, I have already explained it. And in the relying party, which is very important, because we are configuring that uh, this relying party. So we are doing through the SAML to post SSO profile. So your configurations should be like that. Here is that your encryption assertion if you will go with the by default, then it will be the conditionals. So you need to change it with never. And your encrypt the name ID should be never. If you will I will explain you later if you will do that conditional or always. So what issues will faced in at the time of that integration. And again, you need to configure your relying party. So that your domain name should be the same with your block SAML. Because when I have installing the IDP server, so I have created that by default. I have mentioned, I need to mention that www.blogsaml.com, and this is a provider your name, your IDP credential, and this is the same way password protect transport. And your configuration should be the same like that. And one more other important configuration is that your one is that by default this is configuration, and you need to insert this configuration in your relying party configuration. Support you are launching any other site or any other for example, you want to launch any other IDP URL to configure with you AEM, for example, blocksaml.test hyphen test. So you need to configure your relying party into the AEM server. So again, I will explain it. You need to provide this one entry into that file system provider, and this is the Adobe CQ XML. So I will explain you what is present in your Adobe CQ XML. So Adobe CQ XML is the same file. This you need to just copy and this IDP metadata and paste it, and again rename it Adobe CQ or Adobe CQ123. It's depends on you. And in the IDP metadata, you need to just copy this. This is your key generation and paste it here. And this is a kind of configuration you need to give it. And again, the most important thing is that this is your binding with your SAML, which is redirect on your SAML login. After that, whenever you login is processed, and whenever it will authenticate your SAML, then it will redirect on this URL. And this is a SAML logout service. So this part is done. And again, main important thing is that your credential folder. So whenever you will install your IDP, so these two files will automatically will create this one and this key. So if you will open this key, you can see that this is a RSA private key, and this is a IDP certificates. So these two things are very important, and by which you need to create two things. One is that your IDP certification and IDP PEM file. Why it is important, I will explain you why this is very important for you in other video.